Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make a Minion statue, and just letting you guys know, I also have a couple more Minion related builds. Feel free to check out the card system and the links below down in the description for those if you're interested. But moving on to the actual Minion statue, if you want to make it, here's what you're going to need. You will need some black wool, some dark grey wool, grab light grey, white, dark blue, and finally grab yourself some yellow wool. And once you have each one of those colours right there, and once you've figured out where you want to make it, I'll be making it right here, you're going to want to kick off your minion with this sequence of blocks coming directly up from the floor. Do 2 black wool, followed by 3 dark blue, 1, 2, 3, just like that, and that is how you want to kick off your minion. Once you have this sequence of blocks, you now want to take this top dark blue block, this third block, and extend it out going to the left by 1. You then, from the block that you just extended to the left, you now want to bring it towards you by 2, so 1, 2. You then want to do kind of like a diagonal coming towards you, kind of like a right diagonal like this, so you kind of want to have this happen. You then, from this diagonal, want to go right by 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. You then want to do a diagonal that brings you kind of right still, but back towards where we were just building, so you kind of want to have this shape. You then want to do a row of 4 going back that way, so 1, 2, 3, 4. You then want to do another diagonal coming across where we've just been building, so coming back still, a diagonal there. Then go right of it by 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then do another diagonal here, still coming across, and then connect everything together with a single dark blue block. And the shape that you want to have made should look a little bit like this. It's actually a lot easier to kind of realize it looking down rather than how I just made it, but that's what you want to have. It's kind of like a 5x5 square, or a 6x6 square, I should say, with the corners missing, but I'm sure that you guys will be able to make that no problem. Once you have that, this is what you want to do next. So from this position right here, can you guys see this block right here, kind of like on the right hand side, this middle block? From this block, just do a dark blue block coming in towards the center of the square. Then underneath that block, do 2 dark blue coming down to the ground, 1, 2, and then 2 black wool coming down to the ground like that, and that is just your minions of a leg. And you know what, whilst we're actually here, you may just want to also place a single black wool coming out from those 2 black wool that touch the floor, just coming out towards you like this. Once you've done that, you can now fill the top of the shape that you've just made in with dark blue wool. So what we've just made there is the base of our minion, just like that. Once you've got that taken care of, this is what you want to do next. So we now want to basically trace along the top of the shape that we've made with our dark blue wool, and we just want the shape to be 1 block higher and 1 block outwards in relation to the kind of squarish shape that we've just made. So I'm just showing you guys what I mean. A lot of this is kind of easier to see what you have to do rather than me have it describe it to you, but this is the shape that you want to make, and as you guys can see, 1 block higher and 1 block outwards in relation to the shape that we've just made, and that's just the beginning of the body, and most of the body will be built up on top of that row of dark blue. Once you've built that, this is what you want to do next. So you're on the front of your minion, which is this side, by the way. This is the way that the feet are pointing. I hope that this is the front of the minion. So on top of this middle dark blue block that we have right here, place a single black wool. You can then proceed to fill the entire rest of the row going all the way around your minion in with dark blue wool like this. So just go all the way around and fill that cross section in with dark blue. Now, building up on top of these 3 middle blocks of the front here, going from left to right, you just want to do like a black wool, a dark blue wool, then a black wool, like that, just on top of these 3 middle blocks. Then on top of that, you just want to inverse it, so you want to do a dark blue, a black, then a dark blue, like that. What you can then do is just place a row of 3 yellow wool directly on top of there. So you just want to end up with something that should look exactly like this. So once you've done that to the front, you now want to come to the back of where you were just building. So coming to the back of your minion statue, on top of these 3 middle blocks that we have right here, you now want to stack 2 rows of 3 dark blue, so 1 and 2 right here. Then you want to stack a row of 3 yellow, just like that. Now, once you've done that, we can now start building up the rest of the bodies. So what we now want to do is we want to fill 2 more rows going all the way around the minion in with yellow wool. So just do 2 whole rows of yellow going all the way around the minion. As you guys can see, I'm doing that right now. So just going all the way around, just fill these 2 first rows in with yellow. And then you want to fill the 3rd row in with dark blue, and once you've done that, you have actually finished his suspenders, which is one of the more difficult parts of this build. The first part of this build is definitely more difficult than the second half, so that is what you want to end up with, guys. Nice and simple, I hope. Once you've got that taken care of, this is what you want to do next. So we're now going to focus on the face of the minion first of all. So come to the front of your minion, and on top of these 5 blocks that we have right here, you want to stack a row of 5 yellow wool. For the next row coming up, do 3 white in the center of your row of 5, and then do yellow everywhere else. For the next row, just do an entire row of yellow. For the next row, do a row of 3 light grey in the center and then yellow wool everywhere else. For the next row, place a light grey on the ends of the row, then white everywhere else. For the next row, going from left to right, do 1 light grey, 1 white, 1 black, 1 white, 1 light grey. For the next row, do a single light grey on the ends of the row and then white everywhere else. And for the next row, do 3 light grey in the center of your row and then place yellow everywhere else. And what you want to end up with is something that should look a little bit like this. Nice and simple. That is your minion's face. Once you've got that taken care of, this is what you want to do next. So we can now pretty much fill all of these other rows in with yellow. We do have to adjust this slightly after we have filled them in with yellow, but all we're going to be doing is kind of making his eyeglass 3D, and we're also going to be adding the strap around. However, I think it's easier to not to build the strap into the yellow. I think it's going to be easier to kind of like knock out some rows and then just add it in a little bit later, if you guys can see what I'm doing. So we're now just making every single other row just yellow, and we're just building it up so it's equal height with the top of the face so far. So we're just building everything up with our yellow wool, as you guys can see. So that's just the back of the head there, and this is the back corner. So you want to end up with something that should look a little bit like that. Not too difficult. Now what we want to do, so you're on the front of the statue, and in line with the pupil of the eye, you now want to kind of knock out all of the yellow of that particular like cross section of your minion's head, and you just want to go all the way around and knock out all of the yellow wool. Obviously you don't want to touch any light grey, and you just want to replace that with dark grey wool. And like I said, this is just the strap. This is like the band that keeps his glasses or his glass together. So you just want to have something which should look like this. And whilst we're here, we can, you know what, we'll save that for later, actually. Once you've reached this point right here, this is what you want to do next. So now come all the way up to the top of the head. Take out your yellow wool, and what you essentially want to do is you want to fill in the top of the head, except you want to do it 1 block higher than the top of the head actually is, if you guys can see my meaning. Again, a lot of this is really difficult to put into words, but hopefully it's quite obvious what you have to do just by watching me, and you don't want to do that with the yellow wool, that's bad. So we're now just filling in the top of the head, as you guys can see, and you just want to end up with something that should look like that. Nice and simple. Now let's add the hair. Once you've filled in the top of the head, you now want to take out your black wool, and you just want to dot hair about on the sides of the head like this. You basically want to place a black wool in the middle and on the ends of your rows of 5 going around the head. So just to show you from like a bird's eye view, this is what you want to do for your black wool. Of course, you could change that. You could give him a different hairstyle if you kind of wanted him to have the comb over. minions look a little bit different. You can kind of customize them to look how you want, of course, but this is what you want to end up with, kind of with like a front view and kind of like a side view. That's how the hair wants to look. Now, once you've got that taken care of, this is what you're going to do next. So come to the left-hand side of your minion. Take out your yellow wool and you're looking for this block right here. It's right in the center, just above the dungaree strap here. Place a yellow wool coming out of the side of your statue. Then go down from that yellow wool by 5 with your yellow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Take out your black wool and continue going down by 3. 1, 2, 3. Then take the second block and extend it out in front and behind, each by 1, like so, to give you a plus shape. That is your minion's arm. Once you've done that on one side, you now want to do the exact same thing on the other side. It's not getting dark, is it, guys? Am I imagining that? Yeah, I'm imagining that. Okay, on the opposite side of your minion statue, again, center block just above the dungaree strap, yellow wool, down by 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then with your black wool, 1, 2, 3, extend the second block in front and behind each by 1 to give you a nice plus shape, like this. Once you have both arms taken care of, you are almost done. Now all we have to do is come all the way to the face of your minion, and we now just want to extend his little eyepiece that he has right here. You just want to extend it out in front of the minion by 1, and you just want to do that with your light grey wool. You don't actually want to touch his eye, you just, with your light grey, you just want to kind of emphasize it a little bit, coming out in front by 1. It is getting darker, right? No, hang on. No, I'm just imagining it. Recently, I've been forgetting to turn off the light cycle, so this is what your minion wants to look, guys, once it has been 100% fully complete. Once you have just extended his glass out a little bit, that is what you want to have. Let's take a look at him, shall we? He actually looks pretty cool. The only thing that I don't like really is his arms. I don't particularly like the look of his arms, but it's kinda hard to do anything with them, and typically in pictures that I see, if they're kind of just stood at attention, I mean, they're just kind of at the sides like that, so it kind of makes sense as well. But this is a pretty cool looking statue, if you ask me. Then again, I did design it, so that might sound a little arrogant or narcissistic or what have you, but I think I did a pretty decent job, and hopefully you guys will like it, and more importantly, hopefully you guys managed to make it. I know that those instructions might have been a little bit difficult, but in all fairness, it's kind of a difficult tutorial to make this, guys. So if you guys did like it, I would really appreciate it if you could give me a like, favorite, share, anything you would like to do to help me out. I would really appreciate it. I always appreciate it. It would help me a lot. I designed this from scratch. It was semi-difficult to do. I went through a couple of different tests. If you guys also want to check out any other minion related statues or builds, feel free to check out the card system or the links below down in the description if you'd prefer that. Feel free to comment what you'd like to see me build next. Is it more minion stuff? I know that there's a little bit of a variety of them. And thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next video.